Okay, so here we are, Best Picture, final category. So chances are either tonight or tomorrow I'm gonna make one final video talking about my reactions to the Oscars, and then it's just pure focus on making this movie, and maybe I'll do something after shooting the movie where I'll talk about it early in advance predictions for next year. But for now, I just want to get this out of the way so that I'm ready for the Oscars tonight. Now, this category is pretty. First of all, this Best Picture lineup is very strong. Like, there's not an obvious number 8. They all make a strong case for themselves. And I think that they're all gonna win something on the night. So that is just incredible to me that these movies are doing as well as they are. I don't know, and it's most years I have an easier time justifying my ranking, but this year I feel that some of these can be ranked in a completely different order than the way I ranked them. It doesn't really matter. I think they all kind of make a case for themselves in terms of winning, but they also all make a case for themselves in terms of not winning. So let's not beat around the bush anymore and talk about the nominees. 8th most likely to win is Vice. Now, what kind of a world is this? It seems so crazy that a movie that is nominated for Best Director and Best Screenplay and Best Editing, and I'm predicting to win Best Editing, is also nominated for 3 acting awards, that movie is the last in my predictions. And it doesn't make sense, but you know what? This is the only one of the Best Picture nominees that I don't see a case for. Because, I mean, some of the other Best Picture nominees are a bit controversial too, but who really wants to give this Best Picture? I mean, even the Golden Globes that showered this movie with praise. It was the most awarded movie at the Globes, and it didn't even win a single thing. It didn't even win Best Picture. Okay, I believe it won. I think Christian Bale won actor for this, but it didn't win Best Picture, Comedy or Musical, despite the fact that it was the most praised film there. So, I think if it couldn't win the Globe, it doesn't stand a real shot. I can't see this winning. And I feel like it's a movie that a lot of people really don't like. That people that do like it don't like it enough to vote it number 1. How many number 1 votes is this going to get? I don't see it getting that many. It's a good movie, I think. But I definitely see the problems with it, and I definitely see where it fails and where some people don't like it. And so I just find it really difficult to imagine this actually winning Best Picture because of the controversy surrounding it. I like it, and I get why some people like it enough. I highly doubt it's going to get enough number 1 votes to even be in the top 5, much less win. I could be proven wrong. I sometimes am. But it doesn't have anything major, it doesn't have any precursors. I can't see a world where this wins, and with the other 7 nominees, I can see a world where they win. But Vice is the only one that I just cannot imagine actually wins Best Picture. 7th most likely to win is Bohemian Rhapsody. So, finally saw this. I saw this last night, and it's good, but it's not Best Picture. This is a fun musician biopic, and I think the reason that people hate it is, 1, the whole Bryan Singer thing, which, yeah, I'm not going to defend what he did, I'm not even going to try to, but doesn't really get in the way of the directorial achievement of the film. And but at the same time, I don't think he should be rewarded for any of it. Certainly not. So I don't think this should win Best Picture. I think it's a fun music biopic that the only reason people hate it is because it is getting awards attention, and it really isn't that kind of movie. But I think it's going to do well because of Rami Malek and because of the sound design, but I can see it doing well in every other category it's nominated for, but not Best Picture. I just don't know. I just don't think there's enough there to award justifying it as the best picture. Pretty much most of this movie is, hey, look how great this band is. Look at how great these songs are. And that's fine. That's fun. But nothing in this movie screams best picture winner. With that being said, people do clearly like it. It won the Golden Globe after all. That's not nothing. But I just don't think it has enough love to win, and I don't think it would be a particularly good winner. I'm fine with it being nominated. It's just like this. Everyone's gonna call this overrated if it wins. People are still calling it overrated anyway. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie, but it just doesn't feel like a Best Picture winner. It doesn't feel like it has enough substance to it. So, I think it's possible that it wins. That the Golden Globe win again is not nothing, and that is something that should be taken into consideration. But I just can't picture this happening. Sixth most likely to win is A Star Is Born. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. This was supposed to be the frontrunner, and yet it just, somewhere along the line, people just decided, okay, this is going to win song and nothing else. And it's a real shame, too, because this movie could have been a big Oscar success, and part of it feels like it should be, especially Bradley Cooper. Bradley Cooper, I feel, deserves to win. Having seen Rami Malek, I think Malek is good, but Cooper gives the best performance in the category. Although, to be fair, I haven't seen Willem Dafoe. There's a bunch of stuff I haven't seen, but I've seen all the Best Picture nominees, which is good. I don't know if I can see this winning Best Picture because it didn't pick up anything else. It didn't win the Globe. It didn't win Critics' Choice. Like, this was a movie that looks like it should have steamrolled, and instead it just became a token nominee. That here's a popular movie that everyone really liked. It's not the most popular movie in the category. We'll get to that. But here's the movie that was supposed to be an Oscar juggernaut, and somewhere along the line, it just didn't happen. And it's a shame. But it's going to take home Best Original Song, and that's fine. I think, I don't even really know what else to say. That this is a movie that came in like a lion and came out like a lamb. And it's a real shame because it's a good movie, and I think it would be a worthy Best Picture winner. But the other thing, too, is people are like, well, it's a remake. The story has been told many times before. Do we really need to award this story again? So I get that argument, and it's a shame, but I don't think it's going to come anywhere near Best Picture because of how far it's fallen since the glory days of this film's release. So, great film. It'd be a deserving winner, but I don't think it's going to happen. Fifth most likely to win is The Favourite. So, I think it's surprising that I'm putting this 5, because on paper it has everything. It has the directing nomination, the editing nomination, the writing nomination, 3 acting nominations. It has 10 nominations in total, tied for the most. Like, this seems like it should be a big deal. And yet, it just isn't. And I think, and this is somewhat of a controversial statement, but I think if any movie of these 8 nominees, if any movie has a chance of going home empty-handed, not winning a single Oscar, I think it's this. Because I think it could potentially lose costume design to Black Panther, and it could lose production design to that category too, and we don't know how supporting actress or screenplay is going to go. I feel that it's a good film, and I get why some people do want to vote for it, but I just can't picture a world where this wins. I feel like I can kind of picture it. Like, if the top contenders are all really, really tight, then maybe this sneaks in and comes up from behind. But it didn't even win BAFTA. That's the real censure here. That this is a movie that's tailor-made to win BAFTA. And it doesn't win BAFTA. And that's when you know that there's a problem. that it didn't even get support from its own group. And so, and they give this movie everything. They gave it a screenplay, they gave it supporting actress, they gave it lead actress, they gave it costume design, they gave it production design, but they didn't want to give it Best Picture. And that shows that even they don't have faith in this movie that it can go the distance and actually win Best Picture in the end. And it'll get votes. And it may even get #1 votes, but I don't think it'll get enough. It's not going to go far enough. It's not going to go the distance. I do not think it's going to win Best Picture. Fourth most likely to win is Black Panther. So I'm probably putting this a bit higher than it actually is, but whatever. It's my ranking. I can do what I want, and a lot of people want this to happen. Like, this would be so cool if it happened, and I think it's not entirely out of the question. Remember, this did win SAG, and SAG is the biggest voting block in the Academy. And SAG, people love this movie. And you know what? The Academy is going through so many backlashes recently. Like, they really want to try and find a way to get more people to watch the show. And what better way to get people to watch the next year's Oscar telecast than to be like, hey, last year, Black Panther won. That's going to change people's opinions. Like, this would be so huge if it happened. And I bet a lot of Academy voters secretly want it to happen because they know it'll boost their ratings and they know it's going to be a big deal. And the problem is it doesn't have too much else outside of SAG, but SAG is still a big thing. And yes, it is very unusual for this type of movie to win, but I feel that the SAG win should not be discounted. I feel that the popularity of this movie should not be discounted. And the Academy's desperate nature to get ratings also should not be discounted. This could totally happen. The problem is, I don't know if the Academy is hip enough to do this. I don't know if they actually would go there because they like to do this. They like to nominate movies that are young and hip, but not actually give them wins. And you saw this with Inception and with The Social Network, or what else? What's more recent? Mad Max Fury Road is a good example. They like to nominate them because that gets people talking and that gets people excited, but in terms of actually giving it a win, it rarely happens. I think there's a chance it could happen this year, but this is still a Marvel movie, and it's in that whole interconnected universe, and some Academy voters are not going to like that. But I mean, it is possible. The movie is very, very well liked. I think there's a chance that this wins, but if it happens, that would be crazy and that would be amazing. But I don't think it's going to happen. Third most likely to win is BlacKkKlansman. Okay, so keep an eye on this one because I came this close to making it my number 2. Like, if anything can sneak up from behind and take it, it's this. The one downside is that this hasn't won anything major, but it has what it needs to have. It has the SAG nomination, which the top 2 don't have. It has nominations in director and writing and editing and acting and score. It's got nominated in pretty much everything it needs to be nominated in. It's a message movie. It's a movie that a lot of people really like, and it's rewarding a director who's never gotten a chance to be rewarded before. Like, if this happened, it would be amazing. But I don't... The problem with this movie is that it hasn't won anything major. In terms of wins, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have a PGA or DGA or the Globe or Critics' Choice. It doesn't have anything major. And it would be really cool if this would have won. I saw one person say, I think the least controversial Best Picture winner they could pick is the one about the KKK. And it's a great movie, and it would be deserving, I think. but I I'd be a lot more willing to pick it if it had won anything major, and it hasn't. But I still can't shake this feeling that it's right there, and it's gonna get votes, and that people really like the movie, and it's gonna get a high amount of number 2 and number 3 votes. Like, I can't shake the feeling that this could legitimately happen, but I don't have the guts to actually predict it. I think it would be amazing if it happened. It would be an incredible show if it happened. I don't think they're actually going to go there. But it would be really awesome if they did. Second most likely to win is Green Book. Okay, so watch out for this. It has some pretty key stuff. It has nominations in writing and editing. It has PGA, which is very, very crucial. And it has the support of a lot of old-fashioned Academy members. This is by far the most old-fashioned movie that is nominated tonight, I believe. Some of them are pretty old-fashioned, but this is the one that feels like it could have been made 20 years ago, and a lot of Academy voters are going to really respect it. With that being said, it doesn't have a director nomination, which hurts it, and it wasn't nominated for SAG, which hurts it. But this is probably the safest choice. This is the easy white guilt movie that talks about racism but doesn't really get into it, that people can easily relate to, and is a charming movie. And I think it would actually hurt the movie if it won, because it is what it is. It's a charming movie, and if it won, people would hate it because it's become Driving Miss Daisy, and it's become the movie that didn't deserve to win given the competition. And I think Roy Wood Jr. summed it up best when he did his little Best Picture summary. He said, Green Book is the story of one of the most influential African-American composers of his time, and the story is told from the perspective of his racist Uber driver. Like, that's basically the movie, and some people may find it offensive, or it's a movie that tries to be as inoffensive as possible, but just in doing that, some people may take issue with it. And I like the movie fine, but some people are just going to take issue with it. I feel that PGA is a strong indicator that people like it. And it's probably going to win Supporting Actor and Original Screenplay, and that's also a strong indicator that people like it. In terms of what older Academy voters like to go, this feels like it could happen. I don't know if they would actually go it. It feels like such a safe choice for the Academy, and it would be a boring choice. And not a bad choice exactly, but a choice that would make a lot of people upset. That in a year with all these really bold, really daring movies, that they chose to give it to Green Book, a safe movie about white guilt and how racism is bad. And I feel that the Academy is a little bit past that. So we're going to move on to a really incredible movie, the movie that I truly believe is going to win Best Picture, and it is Roma. So, guys, let's just talk about this. The Academy, in addition to Best Picture, they have some additional categories for awarding different types of movies: Best Animated Feature, Best Documentary Feature, and Best Foreign Language Film. And no movie that fits into one of those categories has ever won Best Picture, and now one of them is going to. A foreign language movie is going to win Best Picture. And the main reason why that's so exciting to me is because it's paving the way for some day in the future when an animated film wins Best Picture. And that's the one thing, that's one of the things I want to see before I die. Like, I care so much about that. And it looks like it's going to happen. Because everybody really loves the movie. Everybody was really blown away by this movie. And it's a kind of a difficult recommendation. It's a slow burn. It's a beautiful, heartbreaking film. But it's a slow burn. It takes a while to get there. And you'll probably be bored while watching it. it is a beautiful experience, but you really have to kind of meet the movie halfway. You have to allow yourself to be transported by the film. And the issue with it didn't get nominated for editing, in spite of the fact that it got nominated for literally everything else, except maybe costume design, but it got on for pretty much everything it could get nominated for. It's a movie that everybody loves. It's a movie that's probably going to win director, and it won BAFTA, and it won Critics' Choice. I think the BAFTA win is most significant because they could have... They gave it to a decidedly not British, but not really American movie either, a foreign film, and that's crazy. And the Golden Globes, I think, is significant because they didn't give it Best Picture. The fact that they went so off the table with Bohemian Rhapsody, I think what they were trying to say there was they wanted to give it to Roma, but they couldn't because of their stupid eligibility rules. That an animated film and foreign language films cannot be nominated for Best Picture, which really pisses me off because there's so many animated films that deserve to be in the conversation. That's another story. But Roma can help change the conversation towards awarding more diverse types of movies. And I feel that it would be so incredible for a movie like Roma to break the boundaries into what kinds of movies Oscars can award. It took 91 years, but finally a movie that can fit into the foreign language animated documentary, into that niche, a movie in one of those niche categories can win Best Picture without an asterisk in front. It was the best foreign film. And that's just how I choose to see it. And the fact that it's won the stuff that it did win, I think is telling. And it lost PGA, which is an issue. But I think the main reason it lost PGA was just they were very resistant towards Netflix. And I think that this could happen. I think that this is the most likely to happen, but it's not a sure bet. It is the movie to beat, but it can be beaten. The other nominees do pose a strong threat, and it'll be pretty interesting and pretty intense to watch this year's Oscars and to see this all play out. So, that is my official prediction. Tune in after the Oscars when I'm going to make a post talking about my reactions. And then it's pretty much just, I'm going to be 100% focused on making a short film. So, maybe one day I'll show up at the Oscars. We'll see. But for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you later. Goodbye.